Thank you for taking part in this. You're our third interview. The last two were like pretty cool.
Okay.
And to everyone just now joining, this is Black and Alive. This is an IG Live interview series presented by 28 Shades of Black Magic. And 28 Shades of Black Magic is an annual photo series celebrating a different young Black artist and entrepreneur and creative for each day of Black History Month. But of course, we're all making history every day,
Yeah.
including you. So, Tay, please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. Tell us about your work. Everything.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Tay, also known as Tay Soléy. I am a singer, a songwriter. Sometimes I'm a creative director, choir director, and a model.
Yes, that wow, perfectly summed it up. You wear
Yes.
many, many hats. So yeah,
Yes.
you could just let us know how your work and who you are as an artist has been affected by like COVID or Black Lives Matter or just everything going on right now.
Well, living in Brooklyn in New York, basically everything has been shut down for us since March 16th, 17th, and it's been exhausting, honestly, mentally. It's, no shoots, no sessions, no meetups, no jam sessions, no writing sessions. And as most artists know, in New York, that's what we do on a very regular basis. And even for like work and pocket money and all of that, I slang margaritas on a weekend. All of that is cut out. So,
Right.
it's just been a kind of a scary time, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Yeah.
It's been very tough, and then you realize how much you miss that stuff because you're so used to the hustle and bustle, like just being out of the house every day, an open mic here, a
Yes.
performance here, like you said, a jam session, or you just go to somebody's studio, and all these things going on. That all has like
Yes.
come
I
to a
I miss
pause.
complaining about work.
Right.
I really
I
do.
miss complaining
Like
about the subway. Like,
I
man,
took so many different small entities and different things about New York and life and art and music and the world for granted. So now I'm just like, okay, damn. It's like when you get a cold and you never think about missing breathing until you can't breathe.
right? Like, wow, I never knew what it felt like to not have a stuffy nose. Never thought twice about it.
I know.
Yeah, I feel the same way about small talk. Like even just like these interactions I would have at school or working with people, even like smiling at somebody when you walk past them in the hallway, and like or talking to the bus driver, random stuff like
Hmm.
that. Like we not having those
I
interactions.
know. I just miss seeing the bottom half of people's faces, honestly. Like being able to tell people's facial expressions is just like
Oh my god.
living in a third world almost.
Yeah, and like it's funny you mentioned that because I'm over here smiling at people, they can't even see my smile.
I
It's
know.
just
They feel it. They feel the energy.
yes. So do you have anything to say in terms of like Black Lives Matter or like what you have been doing to spread the word or anything like that?
Yeah. I haven't really honestly been vocal at all in the past 2 weeks via like social media besides, checking on my brothers, checking on my family, checking on my friends. Um, I guess I'm in like a bittersweet position of like being reminded and re-traumatized by like this like darkness that we live under, as well as being like hopeful because this is the first time that I'm seeing protests and voices being used that are causing change at the type of numbers at which it is in different states. And usually I would march. I marched for Sandra, I marched for Trayvon, I marched for young people who actually died from police brutality in my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been traveling. I kind of got caught in travel mode during the beginning of the quarantine. I went to Florida and I kind of got stuck there for a month. Got back to New York, went back to Florida, and that's when the George Floyd murder happened.
Yeah.
So there were protests and a lot of different riots in the area of Florida that I was in. And for me, I want to march in a place where I vote, or I want to march in a place where I pay taxes. I want to march in a place where my, what I'm saying, tax money does fund that government. And I feel like my voice is really counted for. So
Yeah.
I'm back home now. I'm in my hometown. I'm in Champaign. Just landed yesterday. And they've been having a lot of peace. I had some riots, but they had a lot of peaceful protests as well. organized by a lot of different people. You know, the first one was a couple hundred, the next day it was a couple thousand. So I'm like super proud, and I'm here ready to protest, ready to stand with my community.
That's beautiful. I'm so grateful that
Yeah.
you're out there, that you're holding it down for your hometown.
Girl,
That
I'm
was very
trying.
well put.
I'm
So, how would
trying.
you describe your work as primarily as a singer songwriter? But you could talk about your modeling experience and how your work is affected now. Like, are you writing now? Are you not writing?
um, so my work as a singer songwriter really took off once I moved to New York almost 4 years ago. And you know, New York has all of these different creative spaces where you can just walk in and jump into a session, or jump into open mic or whatever. So it was a lot less anxious, or you know what I'm saying, nerve wracking for me to do that. So that's kind of where that started off. And I've always wrote stories and poetries and music. So I just was able to find other creatives and engineers and producers who just kind of helped me get out there. And I wrote quite a few different songs. And right before the quarantine, I was working on a project, and even had came and performed for you on Valentine's Day. And so it kind of brought everything to a halt. And as an independent creator, as an artist, generally you come to a lot of halts. You come to you know, writer's block and performer's block. So it's not anything I'm unfamiliar with, but my mind has been so like frazzled and all over the place and scrambled like eggs since really COVID-19 really popped up. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't write the first couple weeks. I wanted to, but I didn't know what I wanted to say. And then the third week, I started writing, and then none of it made no sense. And I was like, well, this is 2020. So, and yeah, I took a break from that, went back home. I didn't get into my studio, but I definitely wrote. I sketched a little bit, painted a little bit. I did hair. Doing hair helps me just like, you know, get my mind free and feel a little bit more, I don't know, closer to my roots.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm back home, and I'm definitely gonna get some writing done. I'm like in my comfort zone. I'm in these streets. You know what I'm saying? This is my
Yeah.
city. So you know, I feel like now I can release some things, some feelings, some fears, some hopes, some dreams for myself and for what I want for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's like it's almost like you're on the cusp of a rebirth. Like there was a
Yeah.
low point. Maybe your notebook has a lot of blank pages at this
It's,
point, but you're like getting
yeah.
started.
I
Like
think
you're
there's a
coming back.
silver lining to all of this, though. You know, politically, economically, you know, you got to go through the storm to get to the sunshine. So I definitely see there being a silver lining in the world being on one accord and knowing that we have a lot of issues that need to be addressed, a lot of demolishing that we need to do
Right.
um, in every sector of our government, in every sector of our lives, honestly. And not just for blacks, but for Native Americans, for Mexican Americans, for Asian Americans, for you know, like exchange students, for people dealing with ISIS and immigration and all that. There is just it's just too many walls that have been standing for too long. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No, you've covered all of that. Like basically we all have a voice and we all have a problem with or we are all affected by systemic racism and all
Mhm.
kinds of discrimination. I was just saying to my sister that this is like this is what we need. This is where white people and privileged people are realizing that they are affected too.
Yeah.
None of us are above this. None of us
Mhm.
are exempt. So I think it's great what you were saying just then. So my next question, let's see. We're kind of breezing through this. You're giving great answers.
Girl, I feel
Um,
like I ain't talked all quarantine.
so was one of your favorite songs, one of your favorite like blackity black anthems or something that
Um.
uplifts you?
Well, you know, Solange did it with "Don't Touch My Hair." Fubu. I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan. I'm a big J. Cole fan, and you know, surprisingly, I've been listening to like local radio since I've been traveling a lot, and I've been kind of waiting to hear people drop songs and drop lines about the quarantine, and now I'm waiting on songs about like change and what our generation is doing and like some real shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I would say that definitely I'm kind of old school with it, so I get into my Motown bag and I listen to, you know, a lot of old stuff. But I would say right now, something that keeps me kind of mellow without you know getting sad and getting depressed and being in a dark place about it. I would say it would have to be like "Don't Touch My Hair." I like how she plays with words. I like how she plays with almost kind of plays with the culture and talk her shit, and
Yeah.
I love that. I also found on your playlist this song. What's her name? Jamila
Jamila Woods.
Jamila Woods, and maybe it's the narcissist in me, but she has this song called Octavia, which is my first name.
Mm-hmm.
And girl,
No,
girl,
that's one of my favorites. It's a really
it
great
is such
song.
a great song. It's such a great song. So I've been playing that and just trying to stay uplifted, playing my gospel,
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Sometimes I get mad, I play a little I play a little NWA, you know what I'm saying? Just
Definitely.
to, remind myself like we still fighting. We got to continue to fight. It's hard balancing it. It's hard finding the balance between staying positive and being mentally healthy
Mm-hmm.
and but being active, and because you can't help but care. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
can't
Exactly.
I feel like any human with blood pumping through their body should be outraged. So,
Yep.
and should have been outraged for years. So, I'm really proud of our generation. I'm proud of what's going on. So
Yeah.
I ain't too hot
Exactly.
to ride. So
Okay. So what's something, and Najee asked me this yesterday, what is something that's been sitting with you or like heavy on your mind or something you've been meditating with?
oh, I guess honestly, New York, and knowing how much the city has already been through, knowing the state of the city and the civilians that live there before, and just seeing whether it'll come back. It's like such a smelting pot. And me coming from
Mhm.
like the middle of America and being different all the time, it was like the first place where I felt completely comfortable and like with my people, and not only with my people, but with other types of my people where I could like actually learn and I could be a part of other cultures, and so I just pray every day that city and LA and all these major cities in Texas that we can come back and be stronger. So that's something that I kind of worry about.
Yeah.
And even just personally, like, is work going to be the same for me? Are friendships going to be the same for me? Is my health insurance going to be the same? You know what I'm saying? So just the future being in limbo is a little
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And I think it's interesting that like work, like you said, aside from being a performer on the weekends, you a bartender, like
yeah, girl, I
will
be
we be
turned.
able to go to bars?
Mm.
Will bars be packed ever again?
Child, that's a good question. I don't know. Serving 1, 2 drinks out the window in a paper cup ain't gonna pay that New York rent. So, I've definitely been praying and meditating on living bi coastal and doing like, summers in Brooklyn, winters in Miami, building up a network there. Excuse me, possibly even signing with an agency there. And just trying to like broaden my horizons because we really don't know what the future holds. As well as continuing to hold on to the friendships and the networks that I've made in New York because I've been extremely blessed since I got there. So I don't want to like just throw it away.
Exactly. You sound very grateful for all you've got and very hopeful as well. I'm really glad to hear that. You're expanding and you're still working on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's really great. What else can I say? You kind of touched on everything that this interview encompasses, and I really
Okay.
enjoyed talking with you. Let's see if I come up with a fun question. So I asked you your favorite song already. Hmm. What? Let's see. Okay, so I brought up this topic on my Insta story, and I want to know
Mm-hmm.
if you have any like recommendations. So I've noticed a lot of people are making these infographics that are clearly directed at white people, so that they can unlearn racism and to educate
Mm-hmm.
themselves on the experiences of Black people and people of color in this country. And I see a lot of posts, and I even saw Netflix made a graphic about what's going on right now, and they have the posters for like When They See Us, 13th, American Son, and another film as well. And I think those stories are very important. But personally, I feel like we should also educate these people on all parts of like Black art. right? So maybe
Yeah.
they should study Julie Dash. They should study Spike Lee if they want to get into Black filmmaking. Study the
Mm-hmm.
filmmakers from like the early 1900s, 1915, 1920s, and educate themselves to know that Black people did make movies, right?
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite Black movie that, I mean, this is kind of strange, but if you were tasked with educating the
Keep
whites,
going.
oh, I lost you a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying, if you were tasked with educating the whites on like Black filmmaking, Black culture, what is one title you're like, all right, you have to see this film?
Um, that's really hard. I don't know if this is cliche or not, but like all I really watch are Black movies. So, I don't think there's any movie or film or piece of media that can really encompass all of Blackness, or that can
Yeah,
encompass our experience as a whole, or anyone's individual experience as a Black American or a person of color. That's really hard. Honestly, any John Singleton film for
mm,
sure. I'm like a
yeah,
huge John Singleton fan. Anyone can really like break down and analyze the view and the feelings of being Black, being profiled, being underprivileged, being, being here in our skin. One in particular, I actually just watched this in Florida for like the thousandth time, was Rosewood, which is about this town in Florida back in Jim Crow times, that was like a pretty predominant small Black little community. And it was kind of like an Emmett Till situation where a white woman lied about so and so, and this they went on this manhunt for a Black man that didn't really exist because the real criminal was white. And then they basically tore up the whole town, lit it
yeah,
on fire, ran out, killed majority of the Black citizens there, and then the rest were ran out into the next city. And it's based on a true story that wasn't really given the type of media attention that it needed. And
yeah,
it was just kind of, just like, Ebenezer Baptist Church, just like all of the other crazy, traumatic terrorist attacks on us that has
yeah,
happened over these years. But it definitely encompasses, I think, similar to like a Raisin in the Sun, it encompasses a Black man's desire to grow and be better and own his own
mm,
land. And despite all of these different obstacles and brick walls and games and traps that are set up for him, trying to go ahead and be better in the land that we honestly created. So that's a good one. That's a good one. It's a tear tugger. It's a tear jerker.
I
You know what I'm
haven't seen
saying?
it, so I'm gonna go look it up.
It's a tough one. It's up there with Mississippi Burning, but it's definitely a good one to watch right now for Blacks, for whites, for purples, pinks, blues. So
Definitely. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. Well, I feel like I asked you every question. You gave me
how
really great
you doing?
answers. Oh, I'm
What you
good.
been up to?
Well, so man, what have I been up to? So as you know, I'm in grad school. Just finished the semester like 2 weeks ago. So when the semester
Mm-hmm.
ended, I decided to not use my computer for like a whole week because I had just been on that laptop all day, all night, working on other projects outside of school along with my schoolwork. So I just needed a break. Um, when when George Floyd was killed and the uprisings began, and we see like there are little fires everywhere, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I just like I felt like, should I join this protest? Because you said you've marched for like Sandra Bland, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, all of those like um, nationally known murders, but I didn't. Like I was not used to that. So now I'm wondering if I should, but I feel like that's not necessarily me. So I'm like stuck with like what work can I do? And now I feel like I'm just figuring that out. Like I'm doing this interview series with you and a bunch of other people, and I've been sharing stuff on Instagram, trying to like share information. So now like I'm a little obsessed with the gram. I'm just always on my phone.
I know.
But I'm being more intentional about what I share. So like I don't share anything that isn't informative or won't lead to change of some sort. Like I'm not even telling people about what I'm eating for lunch. Like that's for another time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it. I've been like watching TV. I just watched, and there's a ton of films I haven't really seen. Like, I'm one of those people, I might need to get my black card revoked.
Sure.
So I just watched School Days for the first time. I just watched Get on the Bus for the first time. I might look into more Spike Lee films. You just recommended that John Singleton film, so if you got any other recommendations, send them my way.
I got you.
Yeah, and I'm definitely thankful for this time to create more, to like study film and television. I've been writing a little bit more as well. I kind of slowed down with the poems, but I've written a few like scripts and stuff. And yeah, I've just been chilling. You know, I also started riding my bike. I bought this bike years ago.
Okay, yes.
You know, I mean,
Yeah,
I
fit.
like left my neighborhood. Like the furthest I went was like Williamsburg because they had a vigil for George Floyd, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna ride my bike out there.
Good. As long as it ain't a city bike, you good. Because them city bikes ain't no joke. Girl. Them city bikes, they about 50, 11 pounds. You be dragging around a car. Oh, girl.
I wouldn't even try it because, like, I don't know, too many people touching them. Like, we still in the pandemic, and what if I don't want to return it? Like, you know, I don't. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm definitely very thankful for you and everyone else who's decided to take part in this, because it was just like a thought that popped in my head, and then I started like sending the emails and making the little graphics and stuff. So I'm glad we were able to execute this.
Yes. Thank you for having me and considering my voice.
Oh, of course.
Makes me feel special.
Oh, yeah, you know. Your voice, because you're a singer, and I'm looking forward to hearing it, you know, when you get back in the stew.
Yes, yeah. We won't be performing soon, so I guess I just put a little fire under my ass to get this project out.
Girl, I kind of feel the same way. I'm not going to front. Like, I feel the same way with filmmaking, because I'm like, okay, once productions, because I know people are out here shooting whenever they can, but once we can officially have like productions with like a full cast and crew and be safe, like I'm gonna have scripts ready. Like, who wants to shoot? And I'm, you know, trying to rebuild who I am as a poet. So I think this is a great time to.
Yeah, and you already in the streets getting all the content ready. So
yes.
Come on. All right, make sure you send me a little sample.
Oh, of course. I'll just slide in your DMs. So let me wait for these people. Hello to everyone who joined.
Hello.
I think we could wrap here. Is there anything you want to say? Yeah, this will be your time for like one to just tell us where to follow you, if you have a website, all of that, and like what you do. Just tell us that again, and then also your opportunity to plug any organization you've been supporting, or any way anyone else can support Black Lives Matter, and just like anything else you want to mention.
Okay, definitely support, for one, small businesses, Black-owned businesses. Definitely try to reach out and support different organizations like the Don Moyers Boys and Girls Club, and just the NAACP, a lot of different organizations who really fund into our community. And make sure that you're talking to the youth around you and explaining things to them, and just asking if make sure they're okay. My name is Tay Soléy. I'm a singer, a songwriter, and a model. You can find me on Instagram at Tay Soléy, or you can check out my website, my portfolio at www.taysoleil.com. And I just pray that everybody stays safe and mindful and aware, and hopeful for a better future, hopeful for a better lives for ourselves and those to come.